Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. I have this package here I thought I'll unbox in this video, and there's a computer inside it, and of course we need to explore it and try it out a little bit. Yes, I already cut it open. This is a computer that I bought from a friend. Actually not bought, we swapped. I sent him one computer that I have more than one of, and same with him. He sent me one that he has two of, so that's a great arrangement. And this is in fact the computer I have been wanting for a very long time, but it has been very difficult to get hold of here in Norway, and the prices on eBay has been too high, and the shipping prices now on eBay is just ridiculous. It's crazy. You can order something from China and pay almost nothing in shipping, but if you buy something on eBay, it can be 50 to 100 euros in shipping. That's insane. Yeah, and it's a BBC Micro, and here it is, looking nice. Yeah, the BBC Micro computer system. And this was like the Tiki 100 in Norway. It was like the British variant of a government computer teaching program or something. And it was used in schools, but this was a little bit more popular than the Norwegian variant. And it actually got a lot of software and games written for it. Of course, a much bigger country. I have an Acorn Electron, which is quite similar. Maybe it's the little brother of this. And this was of course made by the Acorn company. This video is sponsored by PCBWay, and these are the things that you can actually get PCBWay to produce for you. If you have the Gerber files, you can upload them directly to PCBWay and have them produce your PCBs for a very good price and a very fast turnaround. I had them made several different PCBs, and they're always very good quality. These are leftovers I didn't use. Not only do they produce the actual PCBs, but they can also populate your PCBs with the components that you need. PCBWay does not only produce PCBs, they also have a wide range of other services like CNC machining and 3D printing, PCB assembly, PCB design, and a lot of other stuff. And also check out their shared projects, which is a site where you can download already made PCBs. If you find a nice design here, you can put it straight into your shopping basket and order it directly. So go check out PCBWay at pcbway.com right now. And Jan Helge, who owned this before, he has actually done some restoration on this, and he actually fixed a couple of faults with it, as far as I remember. So we can just plug it straight in and see if it works. But before that, I'm just going to take a look at the machine from all angles. Not much on the sides, but the backside. The backside reveals what we can hook it up to when it comes to video, and it has a UHF out, the RF modulated signal. Video out, that's kind of a, what do you call those? That's BNC connectors. RGB and RS423 cassette analog in, I don't know what that is, and the Econet. So what I'm gonna hook it up to my TV with? Well, I think I'm gonna use RGB because this uses the same pinout and the RGB signals as the Acorn Electron machine that I actually made a cable for a while ago. And this cable goes to SCART, and my TV supports RGB via SCART. And it has a built-in power supply, so yeah, we just plug it straight into mains. It's hooked up, let's see what happens. This side. Oops, bloop, blimp, but nothing on the screen. Well, I think I had a problem with this cable, which is homemade. So yeah, there you see. Yep, I got it stable. It says BBC computer 32K, model B MMFS. It obviously starts up in BASIC, and you can of course start programming it. And the BBC Basic is well known for being a good version of BASIC. You can actually get this version of BASIC for the Norwegian Tiki 100 as well. And the graphics, I mean the text resolution and everything is very good. Well, okay, I wrote 20 go to 20. That's clearly a bug. That's more like it. Keyboard feels nice. I don't know if he cleaned it up or something, but yeah, all the keys seems to work. There's some kind of opening there that's been pushed in a little bit. What can that be for? First of all, I just wanted to see if I can load something from tape, so I'm using the SVI CAS here, and yeah, it actually loads, but I think it got an error. It says block rewind tape. Yes, that came out as a bad program, but actually it found the correct files, the file names. I'm trying another one. Okay, what do we do now? Run? No. Maybe I used the wrong command. Maybe it is load. Try again. I think there's a difference between you know, loading basic programs and machine language programs. Try again. So what you hear now is actually the sound that was on the original cassette tape back in the day. You can obviously turn it off on this SVI CAS, but it's fun to hear, and then you know something is happening. Yeah, as you probably understand, I know nothing about this machine so far, but that's a little bit of the fun for me to explore it and figure it out, and without any manuals, but we have Google. I noticed the text started to be a little bit more blurry now as it's been on for a while, and it's not the cable, I fixed it. Yeah, it finished. Do we have a listing? No? No? What? How do you load? Is it star run? Yes! That was it, star run. Asteroid storm. So what does it say? Set X and shift. Oh. Oh, this is too fast. Oh, now it seems to be normal. Okay, cool. Yeah, it says loading Paperboy, but then it stopped. Yeah, if you have this SVI CAS and you wonder how to connect it, how to configure it for the BBC Micro, it doesn't have a settings option for BBC Micro, but you can use the Acorn, and it's the same cable as well. It just stopped. Nah, it just stopped there and the cursor's blinking. I think this machine has some issues. Sometimes when I turn it on, it doesn't actually boot properly. But that's not uncommon. Yeah, now I figured it out. You're actually supposed to use the chain command when you have these tapes with several parts or files. And then it just continues loading. So run and load only takes the first file on the tape. Yes. Press space. Well, not quite as good as I hoped it would be. No music, no sound. Yeah, sound effects, but oops. I mean, it's better on the Commodore 64 for sure. There's a doggy. And you can crush the windows. That's fun. Yes. Now, I've seen better ports of the Paperboy game. Keyboard doesn't work very well. Anyway, that was loading from tape, and it worked as expected. This machine doesn't have any joystick ports. I suppose there were some joystick adapters to hook up to it. I don't know. To access a floppy disk drive, you write the command start drive 0 or 1, and then the cat command to display the directory. As this has a memory card reader solution, I suppose the same commands are used. Yeah, card question. Yeah, so there's probably not a memory card in it. But that means we have to open up this machine now and take a look inside. Ah, I turned the machine around. Look at this, I wasn't aware. You see how little I know about the BBC Micro. There's a bunch of expansion ports here. And there's even an auxiliary power output. Tube, 1 MHz bus, user board, printer, disk drive. I actually talked to the previous owner, and it seems like I misunderstood a bit. There's no memory card reader in this machine, but it's been upgraded with a additional ROM. And that's actually for me to build the BBC Micro MMFS SD card reader. He actually sent me the parts, or at least some of the parts that I need. And he also sent me an Acorn BBC joystick adapter. But I want to see inside. Not really sure how to open it. There's 2 screws there. What's the analog in? If you know, then tell me in the comments section. Yeah, that lifts up, but how do you get it off? Yeah, I guess it's those 2 screws there. It's the same kind. As I mentioned, the keyboard seems to be quite bad, some keys, so I might take a look at that. I'm not sure if I can do all that in this video. We'll see. There you go. Oh yeah, the keyboard is quite dirty inside. Yeah, that's a huge motherboard, and that's the power supply. Looks like same type that's in the Apple II. Says here recapped refa capacitors +1 electrolytic in 2025, and yeah, he mentioned that he has done a little bit with this. Keyboard can be removed, that's good. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and there's a couple of empty slots there, probably for additional ROMs. I know you can switch ROMs when you turn on the machine by holding some key combination or something, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I need to take a look at the keyboard before I do anything else. It's always funny to see the difference in the machines when it comes to the mechanical stuff, like screws and everything. So now maybe this lifts up, yes, and we can take off the connector and the speaker. I wonder if it's easy to upgrade the RAM on this. Yeah, there's 2 available sockets there, 2 there and 1 there. That's the CPU 6502. And that's the 6522, that's some kind of IO chip. WinBond, that seems to be a new ROM. So if this is the ROMs, the banks, then you can put in 2 more. But what are these for? And there's a bunch of unpopulated chips there, or places for chips. As I understand it, this is a Model B and it came with 32 kilobytes of RAM, and it's not straightforward to upgrade it because of how the memory map is organized on this architecture. There were of course B pluses and other variants that had 64 kilobytes and even 128K. And you can upgrade this machine the same way by using some sideways or shadow RAM, where you use the ROM sockets for RAM, in fact, or some other technique where you add additional RAM that overlays the video RAM or the screen memory. Alright, so I'm gonna try and figure out how to build that memory card solution, and maybe also the joystick adapter. If I need some parts and I have to order those, then I can't do it in this video. But first, let's take a look at that poor keyboard. I heard the other retro computer enthusiasts say that they hate restoring keyboards, but I'm different. I like restoring keyboards. So the first thing we need to do is to pull off all the keys, or the key caps as they're called. Yeah, they come off quite easily just using finger power. Anyway, I do this without knowing if it's even possible or feasible to to clean up, I mean, the inside of the keyboard. If every key is soldered down and can't be easily cleaned. I mean, they have these small metal parts. I'll try to zoom in. If I zoom in and make the light perfect, then maybe you can see it. Yes, it's like these metal claws down there, and when you push, they touch. And of course, if there's dirt or a buildup of some oxidation, then that contact will be poor. So that's what I'm gonna try to fix. And all the keys are soldered on the back PCB, so you can't really, yeah, I can't really desolder them and do anything with those. But I mean, the contacts are the essential thing here to clean. And the space bar, it's always gonna be a little bit different. Oh, there's something there. How do we get this off? That's some kind of technique I never seen before, or it doesn't seem like it's want to come right off. No. That's new. What's this? Some kind of clip mechanism stuck there. Yeah. Strange contraption. Well, I'm glad I did that, because here we have some nastiness that I'm going to remove. I'm going to take the vacuum cleaner and, yeah, clean away all this and clean between the keys. And then try with some contact cleaner. Yeah, that's much better. Let's use some IPA here, and there's still some dirt that's stuck. Yes, that cleaned up nicely, and now assemble the keyboard. Yeah, now that looks good, and I did actually spray contact cleaner in 2 rounds into all of the keys. Hopefully they work better now. But now I thought about taking a look at this, and this is, there's a contact and there's a little SD card module. I wonder where this goes, and if I need something else. Alright, so I did a little bit more research now, and it turns out the only thing you actually have to do is to connect this simple SD card reader module directly to the user port on the machine. And this table shows the pinouts, what to connect to what. Important thing is that this is must be a 5-volt micro SD card adapter. So how do we connect it then? Well, I have this that goes into the user port on the front of the machine, and somehow I have to connect it to this, and I have a cable like this. There are solutions where you can actually just get a small PCB that can be like soldered onto or something in a way that you can plug it straight into the machine. I don't have that. So what I plan to do then is just connect directly to the user port with this cable and somehow hook it up to the SD card reader, at least for now, temporarily. The 5-volt on the user port obviously goes to the 5-volt on the SD card interface. So VCC is there, but I don't know the pinout for the user port. I don't know if it's actually this pinout for pin 1 through 8 or something else. So I need to check out that first. But before that, I actually took a more closer look on this machine, and I can see there's a little hack here. This is a homemade little PCB that's hooked up via this clip here to one of the chips, and some connections down to some pin headers there. Yeah, it says fix for graphics mode 1 through 6 versus 7. And clearly it's homemade. 2 chips, a couple of capacitors and a bunch of resistors. So here is the pinout for the user port and the orientation of it also. And we can see on this side pin 1 and 3 is 5-volt both. Everything else is ground, and on the other side there's some data lines. So that means then it's not as simple as just connecting the memory card module directly to the cable. Maybe this would be a better solution, just to use a little perf board like this, and yeah, I can make a small little PCB myself, and then I just desolder the connector here on the SD card module, and then I simply just place this there on that side or whatever side, and use some small wire links between. Yeah, I go for that. I just need it to be short enough so that it goes in the cavity here. This is the solution. It doesn't have to be horizontal like that. I could simply put it like that. This is the way I will do it, and this, it won't be too wide, so it won't block the neighboring port, and I don't even have to remove the connector here. Yeah, I'll simply just solder it straight to, no issues, as I can see. I solder the connectors first, then we figure out how to connect them afterwards. Yeah, I have a little too big tip on my soldering iron, but I think it will work. The pins are not quite true, but they're almost true. And then the connector. So that's how it came out before connecting anything. And I just marked that's up the notch on the user port. I tested it in a machine. It works, it fits well. Yeah, I tried to draw this up, but it's not as easy as it might seem. This is the layout of the pins of the SD card reader, and this is the user port contact, and you know, it goes in the machine like this, and then it goes over there and down. And then if you need to know if it's the inner or outer row, and if the direction is that way or the other way. And also, what is pin 1 here? Not entirely sure. Let's see on the inside. Yeah, it's marked with a 1 on that side. So pin 1 is then the top pin under there. Yeah, I marked pin 1 there, and then that's pin 2, 3, 4, 5. So pin 1, 5 volts, goes to 5 volts. So yeah, I cannot draw. Then pin 2 goes to the SCK. I think that's it. I just used a little AI magic, and I let ChatGPT generate this diagram. Looks much better, easier to follow. So pin 1 and 3 goes both to 5 volts, so you don't need 2 wires. We can just bridge the 2 pins together here. Same with 2 and 8, they can be bridged together here. So this is just a prototype, nothing to be proud of, I would say, just to make something work. Yes, it's finished, and yeah, it turned out okay, I think. It's not as easy as it might seem to do these kinds of solder jobs. It's very easy to, yeah, melt neighboring wires or desolder something you already have soldered, but yeah, it went fairly okay. It doesn't look nice, but should work. I'm now going to do some checking of continuity and see that nothing is shorted. Then we can test. Time for the test. I copied a couple of disk images to this memory card, but I realized a mistake. I have actually assembled it upside down from what I intended. I intended it to go in like this under the machine, but somehow I got confused, so it actually goes in like this, but that doesn't matter, it fits still. I just had to cut off a little piece here and shave off a little piece of the corner there, and now it fits perfectly fine. Yeah, it fits. The clamps obviously don't go in. Now let me double check. Now I should get the continuity beep from ground to ground on the memory card module. Yes, and also there. Yes, just have to assemble the machine again. So then, how do we mount a disk image on this? Yeah, everything is described on the MMFS wiki page. So yeah, the command for selecting the MFS is either MMFS or simply star disk. We have the dcat. It should list available disks. Mistake. Should it be star dcat? Yeah. No such thing. It says image not found when I press escape. So I thought maybe I misunderstood, and I actually need to type star MMFS to select the MMFS. It makes sense, and then dcat, but image not found. Also said that you could reference by number. But it just hangs. Well, apparently this doesn't work. I need to have another, you need a container file. I did some research, and it seems like you need a MMF file that actually contains the various disks. So I found one for that. So let me try now with a freshly formatted card and one file called beep.mmf. Apparently this is a limitation of the MMFS, while the MMFS v2 can use single files. And now we should be able to issue a dcat. Nope. Hey. Yes. Yes, it worked. Okay, so what I did, I formatted the card again, copied only the beep.mmb file to the SD card, inserted it, and then I wrote start in 0, 1, and now it lists it. So now it should be able to boot from that. Apparently I can use shift break. Yes! Now the colors are off because I got a problem with my cable again. Homemade cable which I fixed, but apparently it's unfixed, but it works. How nice. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Not much to show you in terms of games or anything now, but I think this video became long enough, so I think I'll actually stop here. This was not going to be a full tutorial on this anyway, but let's repeat. Star MMFS, DIN, drive 0, disk 1. It worked before. Or did I have to use dcat? Yeah. Okay. Now I understand. That's all the files inside. 235 disks found. Yeah, there's more to learn here. 0, let's try disk 222. And now cat. Oh, I forget the star cat. And now shift break to boot from that. Haha, games disk SU9. Last Ninja. Oh, that's a good game. Oh, too bad about the cable. Now there. I think that's how it's supposed to be. I'm sorry, a little bit back and forth, but sound. There's no sound. Hit space, yeah. How nice. And how do you control it? Okay. Yeah, that was fun. But that was it for this video. A great machine, the BBC Micro. I'm looking forward to exploring it more. I just need to learn a little bit more about all the various disk commands on this MMFS module. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and special thanks to my patrons. See you next time. Bye bye.